If you lack this one skill, your magic will fail. But it's a simple fix. First, we'll talk philosophy, then we'll get into two practical solutions for this problem. And then we'll do a super boost solution that, if done right, will put you in the top 1% of all magic performers insanely fast. The skill of knowing what your audience is seeing, hearing, and believing is crucial to performing good magic, and that skill is called empathy. It actually goes deeper than that because for magic to actually happen, the audience must be fooled. And if they're not fooled, no magic has occurred. I'm going to say that again. If the audience isn't fooled, you haven't done magic. And this points to a really cool truth. Magic is the only art form where empathy is mandatory. Do you hear that? After school magic teachers, you're looking for a great enrichment hook on top of public speaking skills, creativity, etc. Magic teaches empathy. If you're acting, you can still perform a monologue or play without fully understanding the audience. That's fine. You might be doing a bad monologue or play, but you're doing a monologue or play nonetheless. It's helpful to understand the audience, maybe even crucial to, like I said, performing a good play, but not mandatory. You can still do a bad play, just like you can do bad magic. In music, you can still play something that's beautifully inspiring or whatever. You can do that without thinking about how it's being received. You can do that. But in magic, if they're not fooled, magic didn't happen. And so being aware of their mental states at all times in relation to the trick is mandatory for magic to happen. You have to know if or why something is fooling to successfully perform it. And then, once you have that base level, then you can move on to all the other fun stuff. Empathy doesn't mean being nice. It doesn't mean being warm. It means knowing what they're seeing, knowing what they're hearing, and knowing what they're feeling, ideally. And then, most importantly, knowing what they are believing based on those other senses, based on that other input. So, because if you don't know what they believe, then the only person in the room you're fooling is yourself. Probably. You're just guessing. Here's the one big fix that helps you level up with this most crucial thing. And I bet you already know what it is. Say it with me. Film your shows. People who don't film their shows, they don't know if they're flashing. They don't know if they're rushing. They don't know if their blocking sucks. They don't know if something looks suspicious. They don't know what it is like to watch them perform. And you have to know what it's like. I know it's painful. I know it's cringy, but you have to know. It's impossible for you to be performing and be simultaneously judging what it's like to see you perform. That's not possible, and you shouldn't be focused on that anyway while you're performing. So, people who don't film their shows, they just assume that it worked because the audience reacted well. And you cannot trust your own interpretation of the audience's reaction. That is poison in our industry. So, be careful. You might just be fooling yourself, like I said, because magic is also, this is kind of funny, but magic is also the only art form that I can think of where it is required that you get more credit than you deserve. Think about that. It is required in magic that you get more credit than you deserve. And empathy to your audience is a big part of achieving that credit. So, once you film your show, you want to go back over it and pay really close attention to anything that you don't like, anything that feels just off. Now, for a full list of specific things to look for, it would make this video hours and hours long, and maybe I'll do that one day if there's enough demand. I'll give a sort of a full breakdown of what to look for while you're watching yourself. But if you look elsewhere on this channel, you'll get some good ideas of what to look for. And later in this video, I'll share a tip that will save you months or even years of hard lessons in live performances. We'll call this the Super Boost number 2. So ears open. Like I said, after you've filmed yourself, you go and look for anything in the video that you see that's uncomfortable to you or just feels off. Make notes on it, write it all down. It's going to feel cringy, it's going to feel awful, but do it anyway. Once you've done it, you can see what it's like to watch you perform. And you'll actually be able to address the issues that you're experiencing, the issues that you're sort of feeling while watching the video in your rehearsals. I said the word rehearsals. Yes, that's necessary. Trust your gut on this stuff for now, but here's a short list of things to watch out for: pacing, blocking, tone of voice, diction, clothing. There's a lot more, obviously, and I could go into detail about all of those, but that's a short list. It's an easy list, but you'd be surprised how much progress you can make by just examining these basics. If you watch the video and your gut tells you that it's perfect and that there's nothing to address, this seems unlikely, but at that point, you might have other problems, something, something internal. Uh, that's where you can pull a friend in, ideally someone who is in the theater world, who can give you good, effective notes and who can be constructive and helpful to help you review the footage. Bring in someone that you trust, right? Someone that can give you real feedback, like I said. And if they still think it's perfect, if you get together and you and your theater friend think that it's perfect, send it to me. I will help you. Uh, now, now that you're filming your shows and going over them, there's something else that you can do because sometimes filming isn't enough, and this is Super Boost number one: audience exit polling. This is totally invaluable. Ask your audience. Just talk to them. Ask them what they liked, what they didn't like, what they figured out. That's important. What they didn't figure out, their favorite part and their least favorite part. This will open up invaluable conversations about the show. You might get really deep, it might stay really shallow. Um, or even it might open up conversations just about the individual pieces or the tricks that you did in your close up set. This can be done informally while showing close up to friends or family, out in public, to strangers, anywhere. You can just have the chat, or it can be done super formally at your shows if you have shows. You can collect the data off of the ticket purchasers and send them surveys. What you want to find out in these conversations is what they actually experienced, what confused them, if anything, besides the actual trick or besides the actual effect, and what didn't land. What didn't land. The critical things are more important, even though the positive things are going to feel much better to hear. If I were starting this process, I'd begin by making a survey at like SurveyMonkey or something like that and collecting or and connecting it to a QR code that I'd keep bookmarked on my phone as like a photo on my phone, or maybe even my phone background. Then uh, I'd maybe offer something to people for their honest feedback. Even if that thing is just a heartfelt thank you, that's something. If people like you, they'll want to help you. Now, obviously, don't do this to all of your close up audience members, especially not at paid gigs. But if you're out in the public, in the world, and they like you and they want to help you, maybe you can even offer them a trick that you've filmed teaching on YouTube and say, hey, if you do this survey for me, I'll teach you a trick. I'll send you a link to a trick that you can learn. Because then, hey, then you've got another fan. And if they do the survey and get the link, then you've got their data. Maybe they'll become a ticket buyer. People fall in love with people, not ideas, not brands. You want a personal brand, and this is a great way to do it. Get a couple of early subscribers, so to speak. There's a lot of services that do this like survey thing, and I've got one of them. So if you're looking for a solution to this, reach out to me. I can hook you up. Another way to begin polling your audience is to just have honest conversations with your friends and audience members about what they liked and didn't like. I mean, this is the informal version of that. And remember, you need a lot of data on this. So be taking notes when you have these conversations, at least afterwards if you don't want to take the notes during. But you need a lot of data on this. Just because one person didn't like a trick or a joke or whatever doesn't mean that you should take it out. It just means that you want to be noticing trends in people's feedback while working on all the obvious stuff that you know that you have to work on. Script, blocking, clarity, etc. Storyline, if you want to go that far, narrative. All that stuff is important, but collecting this feedback is really going to help you understand exactly what you need to do in the stuff that you're more aware of that's sort of obvious in terms of improving upon your shows, improving upon your interactions with your crowds. So here's Super Boost number two. And this is a very simple one. I've currently got a Facebook community called the Magic Performance Lab. Go and search that out. It's a Facebook group. I think it's public right now, but I'm going to change it to private soon and put like an application form in there. So get in now if you can. Lots of amazing performers in there who are all willing to help get people to the next level. So you can go in there, post videos, ask for feedback, ask for comments. It's the group is all about magic shows, magic tricks, performances without sort of the method part. Magic is cool, but these things These things are also cool. So here's what you should do on a practical level, boiled down to a simple, easy to follow overhead view. Start filming everything. Watch it back, not as a performer, but as the audience. Ask yourself, what do I see? What do I hear? What do I believe right now? Assuming that you're a layperson, right? Did a hand suspiciously go to a pocket? Am I being honest with myself on stage when I pretend that that's not noticeable? You know? And then talk to people. You can ask them, what was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? The second question, by the way, matters way more. And this is the real key. The more you do this, the more accurate your instincts become, the more empathy that you gain as a skill. It goes into your tool belt. The more you perform, the more feedback you get, and the easier it becomes to read new audiences in real time, and the more you'll be able to know exactly what they're thinking. That's empathy in action. Hope that helps. My cat is on the table. Give me a moment. And cat on the table.